I think so. I mean, I'm very empathetic to any leader, and I lead an organization of only 160,000 people, your country being 1.1 billion, and so change is hard in large organizations. It's culture change and ways of doing business, ways of enacting reform, so I'm very empathetic, sympathetic to leaders that want to have change. And clearly, it's been more challenging for Modi, and for actually, if you look at other world leaders, it's tough to get done what you promise and what people expect you to do.
But is there some amount of disappointment in terms of the pace of reforms that had slowed down? He came with a huge mandate. He had a 282. He was an absolute majority, the first Indian Prime Minister in liberalized India to come with a stunning majority like that. Has the slow pace of reforms, has the political logjam over some of the key legislations been disappointing to global leaders like yourselves?
I don't think I'd use that word. I think it's all about expectations, and certainly you want to see reforms happen quickly, and it makes business easier, it makes it better. But nonetheless, I think we at Cargill and other multinationals have realistic expectations that reform doesn't happen overnight. So we'll be patient. We're privately owned. We've been in business for 150 years. Right. So patience is a virtue.
150 years of existence, 25 years in India, so you know how the market really works there.
Exactly.
I want to talk to you about the India investments, the kind of climate that you're seeing there, and some amount of realism setting in, people understanding that reforms are not going to be steamrolled. It's not as if anybody has a magic wand to change the Indian economy or the country at large. You have a huge 600 crore project happening on the corn milling side. I have two questions to ask of you there. Are you looking at scaling up investments? That's point number one. And point number two is, what really goes into the decision of finally signing off on the check as far as India goes?
On the first question, yeah, we would like to scale up investments. Our mission is to be the global leader in nourishing people. And how can you be the global leader in nourishing people without having a meaningful presence in a country like India with the population, with the growth, and with a country that looks for nourishment, looks for a variety of different products. As you mentioned, our 600 crore project in Karnataka state, I'm going to visit it this coming January.
That's right.
And so relative to our decision making, we look at a variety of factors. Obviously, financial returns. Is this a good use of Cargill's capital? Is it going to meet returns to our expectations of our shareholders? But also expectation for political and economic stability. And we believe in India, while there are frustrations in doing business there, and we would like to see reforms happen more quickly. Nonetheless, relative to many other geographies, other economies where we're active, India looks pretty good.
India looks good, but I have a follow-up question to ask you on that. As far as the reform process in India is concerned, in the FDI and food processing space where you really invested in heavily, what are the sort of changes that you would want to happen? What are the sort of changes you think would boost investments there?
I think approval process, one of the frustrations we've had is relative to getting new products approved. It takes a long time. And when you're in a business when you have research and development, when you depend on innovation to grow some of our consumer products, our branded goods, like Nature Fresh, for example, it's important to get, when you come up with new innovations, to get them approved quickly. I think our permits for building our new corn mill in Karnataka state went pretty well, but nonetheless, the more reforms can be enacted and the more quickly things can move along, the more encouraging it's going to be for companies like Cargill to do business.
You know, it's not just Cargill or a Walmart, even Monsanto for that matter, has really joined the clamor as far as India's reform process is concerned. You know, both the agriculture and the retail space. Is it frustrating at one level that they, you know, it's the political will that seems to be lacking on big reforms like that? Mr. Modi is a reformist. He came with that mandate of development, and yet when it comes to multi-brand retail, he kind of shies away. That's question number one. And question number two really is that are you frustrated at the slow pace of how agriculture modernization is happening in India? It's neither here nor there. It gets talked about a lot, but
I don't know that our frustration in India is unique relative to any country where you do business. The reality is, when you're in a big country and when you're trying to do things and move along quickly, they don't move at the reality is the pace of change doesn't move in the public sector at the same pace that it does in the private sector.
That's right, yes.
So I think, again, being privately owned, we have patience, we look to the long term. Is it frustrating at times? Yes, but on the other hand, when you've been doing business in a country for a long time, you understand how things work, and you understand that it requires patience. But anytime a leader such as Mr. Modi can speed things up, it's going to be encouraging for us to bring more capital into the country.
India is a big market as far as the packaged food industry really grows. There is increasing competition that's coming in. What's your strategy there? How are you going to retain market share? How are you going to look at increasing it? How's competition really panning out in all of that space?
It's a very competitive market. I mean, we compete, we're a large company, but we compete against other large companies, but also against many small and very nimble companies as well. So for us, one of our tactics is to have the benefits of being a big company. We're a well-capitalized company. We're in 67 different countries, and we have the benefits of a diverse portfolio. But we give the local leaders the autonomy to make their own decisions, to act quickly, and to respond to market conditions as they best see fit. So we try and eliminate bureaucracy and allow the agility at the local level. Innovation is crucial. I mean, one of our products, our oil is fortified with vitamin A and D.
Right.
We were one of the first companies to do that. We've been recognized as, there was a recent award for 50 influential companies or companies that changed the world.
And you're one of them.
And we're one of them,
yes.
and in part because of our product in India. So innovations like that bring nourishment and health to the world, that's how we're going to continue to be successful.
You know, it's an unrelated question. You initially spoke about how approvals in India for new products are very difficult to come by. This is a completely unrelated question. Nestle just underwent a huge controversy in India as far as the 2-minute Maggi noodles goes. It was safe to be consumed in the United Kingdom and Singapore, but it wasn't perhaps safe to be conducted in India. I'm not asking you to get into that controversy, but to conflicting reports from labs in India, which are perhaps not as standardized or to global procedures, to global SOPs as some of the others are. Is that a point of concern?
I think you've got to make sure that you are obeying the laws and standards of the local country that you're in, obviously. And so, yeah, is it a concern that would prevent us from growing in India? No. But it's certainly something that we have an awareness of and want to make sure.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.